You see the banner, 50% off. Your heart races. You think you're winning. The dopamine hits before you even click buy. It feels like smart money management, like you're taking advantage of an opportunity that won't come again. But here's what you don't see in that moment. The real cost has nothing to do with the discount. It's buried in the behavior that discount triggers, the pattern it reinforces, and the financial damage it creates over time. The truth is brutal, and most people never face it. What feels like saving money is often the exact mechanism that keeps you broke. Discounts are not designed to help you. They're designed to make you buy. Every promotion, flash sale, limited time offer, and buy one get one free deal exists for one reason: to move products by manipulating your perception of value. The retailer doesn't care if you save money. They care that you spend money you weren't planning to spend. And it works. It works so well that millions of people trap themselves in a cycle where they're constantly buying things on sale, convinced they're being financially smart, while their bank accounts drain and their debt grows. Let's start with the fundamental illusion, the belief that a discount equals savings. It doesn't. Savings means you kept money you already had. A discount means you spent money you might not have spent otherwise, just at a lower price. If you weren't going to buy the item at full price, the discount didn't save you anything. It cost you the discounted amount. That $100 jacket marked down to $50 didn't save you $50. It cost you $50 you didn't need to spend. This is obvious when stated plainly, but in the moment of purchase, your brain doesn't process it this way. It processes the $50 gap as a win, as money saved. Even though no money was saved, money left your account. That's a cost, not a saving. Now think about how often this happens. A sale email arrives. You browse. You weren't looking for anything specific, but now you're looking because there's a deal. You find something. Maybe you've thought about it before. Maybe you haven't. But the discount makes it feel justified. You buy it. You feel good. You tell yourself you saved money, but you didn't. You spent money. And the cycle repeats next week, next month, throughout the year. Each time the same justification, each time the same outcome. Small amounts, frequent purchases, all rationalized by discounts. Add them up over a year and the total is staggering. That's not saving, that's bleeding money with a smile on your face. Here's where it gets worse. Discounts create urgency that overrides rational decision-making. Limited time only, while supplies last. Today only. These phrases are weapons. They trigger fear of missing out, which shuts down the part of your brain that asks careful questions like, do I actually need this? Or, does this fit my budget? Or, will I regret this tomorrow? The artificial scarcity forces you to decide quickly, and quick decisions are almost always emotional decisions. Emotion is the enemy of good financial judgment. Retailers know this. The entire promotional structure is built to exploit it. Consider the psychological mechanism at play. When you see a discount, your brain doesn't evaluate the purchase based on absolute value. It evaluates based on relative value, the comparison between the original price and the sale price. The gap between those numbers creates a sense of gain, even though the transaction is objectively a loss. You're losing the money you spend, but your brain frames it as gaining the difference you didn't spend. This cognitive trick makes you feel smart and successful, which makes you more likely to repeat the behavior. Over time, you become conditioned to seek out discounts, to wait for sales, to feel like buying at full price is foolish. Your purchasing behavior becomes reactive, driven by promotions rather than actual need. Let's talk about the quality trap. Many discounted items are lower quality, overstock, or outdated inventory that retailers need to move. The discount isn't generosity. It's a business strategy to clear space and recover some cost on products that aren't selling. When you buy these items, you often get something that doesn't last, doesn't fit right, doesn't meet expectations, or wasn't what you really wanted. So you use it once, maybe twice, and it sits in a closet or drawer, forgotten. That's money wasted entirely, discount or not. But because it was cheap, you don't feel the sting as sharply, which makes you more likely to do it again. Cheap failures accumulate into expensive regret. Now let's examine the budget impact. Most people don't budget for sales. They budget for necessities, maybe a few planned purchases, and that's it. Then a promotion appears, and suddenly there's an unplanned expense. Where does that money come from? Usually, it's redirected from another category, borrowed from next month's budget, or put on a credit card. The discount made the purchase feel harmless, but the financial disruption is real. Bills get paid late, savings don't happen, debt increases. The $50 discounted item might cost you $30 in interest or a late fee, or the opportunity cost of not saving that money. The real price is never just the sale price. Here's a scenario most people know intimately. You go to a store for one specific item. You find it, but on the way to checkout, you pass a display of sale items. You stop. You browse. You pick up a few things. By the time you leave, you've spent 3 times what you planned. You tell yourself it's okay because everything was on sale, but you weren't planning to buy those other items. The sale created the expense. Without the discount, you would have walked past. The promotion didn't save you money on what you needed. It cost you money on what you didn't need. This happens constantly, and it destroys financial discipline. Let's address bulk buying during sales. Stock up now while it's cheap. Sounds reasonable, right? Sometimes it is. If it's a non-perishable item you use regularly, buying in bulk at a discount can make sense. But most people don't stop there. They buy quantities they don't need, of products they rarely use because the per-unit price feels too good to pass up. The items expire, go unused, or get forgotten. Or worse, having them around increases consumption. You eat more snacks because you have more snacks. You use more of a product because there's plenty in reserve. The savings from bulk buying get consumed faster, and you end up spending more overall. The discount created waste, not efficiency. Another layer, subscription traps disguised as deals. Get 30% off if you subscribe. You sign up thinking you'll cancel if you don't use it, but you forget, or the cancellation process is deliberately complicated and you end up paying for months or years without realizing it. The initial discount lured you into a recurring expense that costs far more than the discount saved. This is a calculated business model. The discount is the bait. The subscription is the trap. And it works because people don't track their recurring expenses, don't review their subscriptions, and don't notice the slow drain until it's significant. Let's talk about lifestyle inflation fueled by discounts. You start buying slightly nicer things because they're on sale and affordable. Your baseline standard rises. Suddenly, the regular version of products feels inadequate. You wait for the premium version to go on sale, and when it does, you buy it. This repeats. Your expectations creep upward, and with them, your spending. The discounts gave you access to a lifestyle you can't actually afford at full price, but you've grown accustomed to it. So you keep chasing sales to maintain it, spending constantly, never building wealth, always feeling like you're being smart because you're getting deals. You're not. You're trapped in a consumption loop powered by discounts. Here's a hard truth. The people who build wealth don't buy based on discounts. They buy based on need, value, and long-term utility. They'll pay full price for something that's high quality and necessary, and they'll skip a sale entirely if the item isn't aligned with their priorities. They're not impressed by discounts because they understand the game. They know that spending less on unnecessary things is still spending, and spending is the opposite of accumulating wealth. Their financial decisions are governed by strategy, not by promotional calendars. The antidote to discount addiction starts with a simple rule. Never buy something just because it's on sale. If you weren't planning to buy it before you saw the discount, don't buy it now. The discount is irrelevant if the purchase itself isn't necessary. This rule feels restrictive at first, especially if you've been operating in sale hunting mode for years. Your brain will resist. It will tell you you're missing out, that you're being foolish, that this deal is too good to pass. Ignore that voice. It's the pattern defending itself. Breaking it requires discipline, not feelings. Another practical step, implement a waiting period. When you see something on sale that you want, don't buy it immediately. Wait 24 to 48 hours. If you still want it after the waiting period and it fits your budget and it serves a genuine need, then consider it. Most of the time the urge will pass. The artificial urgency of the sale will fade, and you'll realize you didn't actually want the item. You wanted the feeling of getting a deal. Those are not the same thing, and distinguishing between them is critical for financial health. Track your discount-driven purchases separately for 1 month. Every time you buy something because it's on sale, write it down At the end of the month, add up the total. Look at the items. Ask yourself honestly, how many of these purchases were necessary? How many have you actually used? How many improved your life in a meaningful way? The answers will be uncomfortable. Most of those purchases will be regrettable, forgotten, or pointless. That total amount is money you could have saved, invested, or used intentionally. Instead, it evaporated because discounts made spending feel painless. Let's demolish another myth. I'll save money by waiting for sales. This sounds financially prudent, but it's often a rationalization for delaying necessary purchases until a discount appears, while simultaneously making impulsive purchases whenever sales pop up. The discipline required to only buy during sales is rare. Most people end up buying both during sales and outside of them, spending more overall. True financial discipline means buying what you need when you need it, at a fair price, regardless of whether there's a promotion. That's control. Waiting for sales is often just another form of being controlled by retailers. Here's the reality about good deals. They're only good if you were going to make the purchase anyway, if the item serves a clear purpose, if it fits within your planned budget, and if the quality justifies the price. Everything else is a bad deal dressed up in marketing language. A 90% discount on something useless is still a waste of money. A 10% discount on something essential is fine, but it's not a reason to celebrate. It's just a slightly lower cost for something you needed. The discount itself doesn't make the purchase smart. The context does. Now let's address the emotional component. For many people, shopping, especially sale shopping, is entertainment, a mood booster, a stress reliever. The hunt for deals provides a sense of accomplishment and excitement. There's nothing inherently wrong with enjoying shopping, but when it becomes a primary source of emotional regulation, it's a problem. You're using money to manage feelings, and that's expensive therapy that doesn't work. The good feeling fades quickly, the financial damage remains, and the underlying emotion returns, often worse. If you're shopping to feel better, you need to find healthier coping mechanisms because this one is bankrupting you. Let's also talk about social pressure and comparison. You see friends or influencers sharing their sale hauls, their amazing finds, their smart purchases. It creates pressure to participate, to prove you're also savvy, also getting deals. So you shop not because you need anything, but because everyone else is, and you don't want to feel left out or financially foolish. This is herd behavior, and it's costly. Your financial decisions should never be driven by what other people are doing. Their budgets, needs, and priorities are different from yours. Their behavior is irrelevant to your financial health. Buying something you don't need because someone else did is one of the fastest ways to stay broke. Consider the opportunity cost. Every dollar you spend on a discounted item you don't need is a dollar that can't be saved, invested, or used for something that actually matters. Money is finite. Spending it in one place means it's unavailable for another. When you prioritize sale shopping over intentional financial goals, you're choosing short-term emotional gratification over long-term security. That choice compounds over time. Years of small, discounted purchases add up to tens of thousands of dollars that could have built wealth, created freedom, or provided genuine security. Instead, it bought clutter and fleeting satisfaction. Here's what financial maturity looks like. You see a sale, and you feel nothing. No excitement, no urge, no fear of missing out. You evaluate it dispassionately. Do I need this? Does it fit my plan? Is the price fair regardless of the discount? If the answers are yes, you might buy it. If not, you walk away without hesitation or regret. The discount has no emotional power over you. It's just information, not a command. Reaching that point requires deprogramming years of conditioning, but it's the only way to stop letting retailers control your spending. Let's get specific about common discount traps. Clothing sales. You buy items that almost fit, that you'll wear eventually, that are okay but not great, all because they're cheap. Your closet fills with mediocrity you rarely wear. Electronics sales. You upgrade devices that still work fine, or buy gadgets you don't need because the price drop makes it feel justified. Home goods sales. You accumulate decorations, kitchen tools, and organizational products that promise to improve your life, but mostly create clutter. Food sales. You buy quantities that spoil, or junk food you wouldn't normally eat, because the deal was too good. Every category has its trap. and they all drain money while providing minimal value. The hardest part of breaking the discount habit is accepting that you've been making poor financial decisions, possibly for years. That's uncomfortable. It's easier to keep believing you've been smart, that you've been saving money, that everyone else just doesn't understand how to find deals. But if the deals were actually helping, your financial situation would reflect it. You'd have more savings, less debt, more stability. If that's not your reality, the deals aren't working. They're part of the problem. Admitting that is painful but necessary. Here's a useful reframe. Every unnecessary purchase, discounted or not, is stealing from your future self. The money you spend today on things you don't need is money your future self won't have for things that matter. Retirement, emergencies, opportunities, freedom, those require money. If you're funneling it into sale items and promotional traps, you're choosing present gratification over future security. That's your right, but it's important to be honest about the trade-off. You're not saving money, you're spending your future. Final practical advice: unsubscribe from promotional emails. Unfollow retailers on social media. Avoid browsing shopping apps when you're bored. These actions remove the constant stream of discount temptations from your life. You can't be lured by sales you don't see. This feels extreme to people addicted to deal hunting, but it's essential. If you're serious about changing your financial behavior, you have to remove the triggers that activate the old pattern. Environment shapes behavior. Change the environment. Understand this. Retailers spend billions studying human psychology to perfect the art of making you spend. They know exactly which words, colors, numbers, and structures trigger purchasing behavior. They employ entire teams dedicated to optimizing sales and promotions to maximize revenue. You are not outsmarting them by chasing discounts. You are doing exactly what they designed you to do. The only way to win is not to play the game on their terms. Set your own terms. Buy what you need, when you need it, based on your priorities, not their promotions. The cheap price costs you everything because it distracts you from what actually matters. It keeps you focused on transactions instead of financial strategy. It makes you feel productive and smart while you're actually sabotaging your own goals. It turns shopping into a hobby, a skill, an identity, when it should be a mundane task you complete efficiently and forget about. The discount isn't helping you build wealth. It's helping someone else build theirs by extracting money from you in a way that feels good. So here's the real question. Are you going to keep playing the game, chasing sales, convincing yourself you're saving money while your financial situation stays the same or worsens? Or are you going to step back, see the system for what it is, and choose differently? The sales will always be there. The promotions will never end. There will always be another deal, another discount, another limited time offer. But your money, your time, and your financial future are limited. Spend them wisely, not cheaply, wisely. What are you actually buying when you buy on sale? Value, or just the illusion of winning?